Stop the cap.
You know, I was over here watching the Eagles game, and like I'm driving home right now, and I was watching the Eagles game, and during one of the commercials, I don't know, I just decided the commercials were boring me. I decided to open up my phone, and I started hopping on YouTube again, just reading comments, glancing through comments, and in my recommendeds was a video of a Mexican woman talking about African Americans and talking about how African Americans need to bring out their capes, for the Mexicans that are getting deported because Mexicans helped African Americans escape or gave them refuge in Mexico. So I had never heard that before. I thought all the black people ran to Canada when it came to the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman and all that. But there were quite a few black people who, went to Mexico. They, escaped to Mexico. And if you don't know, I think what is the name of the Veracruz? No, is it Veracruz? Right? I think it's Veracruz. Is that the name of the place? But anyway, Mexico has a small, black population. I don't know the origins of that black population, but they got a small black population of probably slaves that escaped from the Caribbean islands and went there as well. Because all this happened during the period of from colonialism all the way up until the 1860s for America. Mexico abolished slavery in 1829. And the president of Mexico basically, gave African Americans refuge. But anyway, I had never heard about that, right? I'm sitting there I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you, Mexico, right? But listening to this woman talk, right? What kind of irritates me is where were you when that whatever you want to call it, city council Mexican woman was talking crazy about black people, calling us monkeys and shit, right? Where were you when that was going down, right? You got all type of videos of Mexicans in particular and many other Latinos identifying with the right and supporting Donald Trump, but in a very whitewashed way. It wasn't in the same way that where African Americans were dissatisfied with the Democrat Party and they were like, I'm voting for the couch. It wasn't. No, it's this Mexican Hispanic proximity to whiteness shit, and we know about the anti-blackness that exists in Latin America, all that mejoró la raza, all that bullshit. We know about all that stuff, right? When you go and you look at, hell, they shit on the indigenous people, right? You go and you look at the telenovelas on Univision and Telemundo and all that, right? You see nothing but white people that speak Spanish. It's where's the Mexicans that look like Mexicans? The Mexicans that actually look like a majority of the population in Mexico, right? But they always show you some white-looking Mexicans and everything. So you already know, and that's the whole problem with much of Latin America is, yes, there's Latin Americans, right? Spain, right? The Spanish people from Spain are Caucasian. It's in Europe, right? And I know about the Moors and all that, and a lot of the other more Nordic white people don't even consider the white people from Southern Europe to really truly be white because they think they've been tainted with Moorish blood, right? But I'm saying, for all intents and purposes, these people are white, and they look white, and they can use white people's products and combs and shit like that. They got white features, they got different color eyes, everything. It's Caucasian through and through, okay? But a lot of these Hispanics, that's what they identify. They identify with the conquistadors, right? It's crazy how their idea of whiteness in Latin America and the idea of whiteness in North America are two different things. In North America, white people only consider you white if you're like German, from any of the Scandinavian countries, if you're Anglo-Saxon. Like, you got to be from the Anglo sphere. And truth be told, even within Europe, like, not in Europe, from Europeans, but Americans have an inability to see, white Americans have an inability to see Spain as something different than the rest of Europe. If you speak Spanish, they think, a spick. That's what they think. They don't think in terms of the people from, I don't know what part was that. Is that Basque country? What they, I speak the Castillo. I speak the Castellano. Like, they don't think of that type of Spain, right? They don't think of what's that region in Spain, the region that they always fighting over and whatnot. Anyway, bottom line, they just don't think of Spain. Okay, Spain is something different. And I think it's probably because there's more Latinos in the world than there are, like Europeans that speak Spanish. So you got all of Latin America, and that's the representation of anybody who speaks Spanish. It's not Spain from Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's not, the people who use, vosotros as opposed to using nosotros, right? Like, people don't think about that, right? So a lot of the Latin Americans, they come up here and they think of themselves as white, and they see, that black people are on the losing team, right? And then you have the anti-blackness that already exists in their own countries, right? Because again, the conquistadors and their interaction with because the Spaniards, that whole story about Amistad, that was a Spanish boat. The whole story of the Amistad was a Spanish boat, and they were arguing over, who really controls, what went down on the open seas, because the seas are international waters, you see. But anyway, I'm saying there's a lot of anti-blackness within the Latino community, and we already know that as black people. Right? Everything from, and it was so crazy, is a lot of these people, they are mixed with, not the Mexicans, but I'm saying a lot of the other people, they are mixed with black. You get into the people that come from the islands, especially DR, we already know what time they're on. I know black, papi, I know black, right? We already know what time a lot of them are on. And just the generalized anti-blackness, right? But here's the mistake that Hispanics make, right? Just across the board, right? Because we're minorities, right? Like, we're all minorities. White is the dominant group. White is the majority population, and we're all the minorities. White people are like 230 million, something like that. The Hispanic population is like 66 million, so they already outnumber black people. And then African Americans are about 42 million. Right, and then you got like the Asian community, which I don't know what the exact number is. I think all I know is they're like 5% of the population, 6% of the population, something like that, right? And then you have, whatever's fewer than that, which would probably be Native Americans. But when it comes to these Spanish-speaking people, they look at us like, well, you're a minority too. And they look at us like our status is the same as them, as though whatever beef we have with white people, right, that somehow we have to worry about being deported too. And it's like, nah, homie, like, that's no, we in a different category. We got beefs and issues with the system of white supremacy, but like, this is our home. Like, we were here before you got here, except for all the, especially the Mexicans that all of a sudden want to claim Amerindian when any other time they don't want to claim Amerindian. But I'm saying they really don't understand African Americans' unique status as a non-white group that's not deportable. They really don't understand that. Everybody else, the U.S. government, they can start snatching visas, start snatching green cards, tell other people to get the fuck out. Oh, you weren't born here, get the fuck out. They can do all that shit with other people. One of the reasons why there's the hugest beef between white people and black people is, number one, white people don't want to atone for the sins of slavery, and Jim Crow, and the fact that black people are a non-deportable, inconvenient population. This is the whole debate with the establishing Liberia and Monrovia, right? There were some people that were like, okay, slavery end, and they were like, yo, send them back to Africa. That would only be the right thing to do. But they didn't do that, right? Because they were too lazy. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, we don't want that. And truth be told, we still want to be able to exploit their labor, which is what, they came up with all the, the Jim Crow laws and all the black codes and all that, and the vagrancy laws, to literally put black people right back into slavery with things like sharecropping. You see? But the Latino population, they really haven't wrapped their heads around. This is the whole problem with the idea, to be American is to be white, and that's what they see it as. And they see us out there, and black people need to drop the black and brown shit that's already been discussed, and we need to drop the minority title. Because all that does is open up the doors for everybody else who got here yesterday to have their goddamn hand out. Like I said, I give Ann Coulter an ounce of credit, even though people argue, she's white supremacist, got white supremacist tendencies. I at least give her credit on the fact that, and again, it's not really about, her putting out the capes for black people. It's about the fact that it's like, look, the only people we owe are Native Americans and black Americans. That's it. Everybody else who comes here essentially as a guest, we don't owe them shit. And that's where these lines are being drawn in the sand on. Even with this, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all the equal opportunity employment and whatnot. Yes, black people are disproportionately work for the state. However, the biggest beneficiaries of equal opportunity employment have not been black people. It's been white women. You can do an easy Google search and it'll come up that white women are the biggest beneficiaries, because somehow in the system of white supremacy, right, because it's like you got the racial conflict going on, and then you also have the gender conflict going on. And this was the whole problem with feminism and why black men rail against feminism today. Because what ended up happening was that white women who have always benefited from the white supremacist racial hierarchy, right? Who, again, it wasn't like they were like, ooh, those blood diamonds, oh, take those back. No, white women were right there embracing all of that shit. See, the issue with white women is that when it comes to the gender war, white women and white men are fighting over who gets to control the system of white supremacy. But at the end of the day, it will be a system of white supremacy. White people will be, in power, in control, come first. Which, again, is goofy shit for any female to talk about them running shit, because women are powerless and women cannot enforce anything. They cannot enforce anything. A bunch of women can create whatever laws they want to create, write it on a piece of paper. Who's going to go out there and knock some people over the heads to make it happen? At the end of the day, they're going to have to get some men with guns to go and enforce whatever policies or laws that they put in place. And that's just the way that it is. Women have no power. None. They really just go out here, and it's like women of all races, they go out here and operate on the idea of the benevolence of patriarchy, and somehow think that they're going to shame men in giving up the physical power that they actually have. It's nonsense. That's the whole problem with the ideology of the so-called, progressive left, where it just ignores certain objective realities. Women are not stronger than men. Women are not going to be able to force men to do a goddamn thing. Nothing. They have no power. And it's one of the things that women hate and resent when it comes to just men in general. But again, take that up with God, because God is the one that decided, I'm going to make you 6 foot and I'm going to make you, 5'4", 120 pounds. Take that up with God. I don't know why y'all are small or frail or have less muscle mass. I don't know why. Take that up with God. It's not like men sat there and decided that they were going to unfairly be stronger and bigger and have more testosterone and be more man. It's just, they get on my nerves with that shit. Aside from, again, there's all these other drawbacks that men do have. So again, it balances itself out. Men are disposable. Men are supposed to, expected to sacrifice themselves for women and children and yada, yada, yada. Right? So, like, women, they get on my nerves with all this, I want to have my cake and eat it too. It doesn't work like that. But I'm saying somehow white women got thrown in the minority pot. And so, literally, where resources were supposed to go from, with reconstruction and reparations, 40 acres and a mule, whatever you want to, resources were supposed to go, or economic opportunities were supposed to open up for African Americans, because African Americans were the ones that were out here tearing shit up. They were the ones burning shit down, like, hey, motherfucker, like, if you ain't going to share, if it's going to be uncomfortable for us, motherfucker, it's going to be uncomfortable for everybody. Because what is the point of being in this country and existing and operating in this country, and you can't participate and share anything because they have this system of racial hierarchies? But the slick thing that white supremacy did was make white women a minority class, right? When white women were already benefiting from the system of white supremacy, and then white supremacy literally gives itself resources that are just going to go right back to the white community, which are supposed to be resources that were supposed to be funneled to the black community. Real slick. So again, white women are the biggest beneficiaries of diversity, equity, and inclusion. White women are. And again, white men, and this is a whole battle between the oligarchs and the fucking proletariat, because, right, the proletariat is pissed off because the white elites are vacuuming up all the resources and wealth to themselves, and then the proletariat white men, like, they can't function like they want to function because white elites don't want to pay anybody. All this talk about nuclear. Notice they're doing everything but trying to pay people. Oh, we got to control women's bodies and prevent them from having abortions. That still has nothing to do with paying young men enough to be gainfully employed and support a family. And then with the ending diversity, equity, and inclusion, or equal opportunity employment, right? Again, not addressing paying young men more money. That's like some backdoor way. Oh, if we backdoor this and we get rid of this, right, which some white people see as code for black people not getting opportunities, and it's like, we weren't getting the opportunities to begin with. Even the black people who were getting the opportunities, like, it's a fraction of what it should be. So again, more of a nothing burger that to get the working class white proletariat to think that something is being done that's going to benefit them as poor ass white folks. It's not. It's not. It's like 1 minute, like, I don't know where white people get this idea that black people are somehow balling out of control, right? When you complain about the black people engaging in criminality, which they engage in because they're poor. You complain about, their communities, look all fucked up, and we already covered that with freaking Vanilla Ice and the way that he was going in with the short sales and buying up homes that were dilapidated and because people couldn't pay their property taxes, and then they just let it sit until the city eminent domains it, and then they get a big cash buyout from properties that they just sat on that are in the black community, but black people don't even own it. The white people are just letting it fall apart so that it can get eminent domain and they can cash the fuck out. Right? But I'm saying white people, they'll sit there and they'll complain about, all of these problems that exist in the black community, and then turn right around and then act like black people are out here balling out of control. Like black people out here riding around in Lamborghinis and Teslas and shit like that, and black people are living the good life and living better than the average white person. Nigga, where? Where? You complain about the decline and the collapse of the black, where are the fathers and all this other shit. You complain about, so let me get this right. So we got a bunch of black men that are gainfully employed and are intentionally not raising their kids. Is that what you're telling me? That bunch of black men out here just breathing up all the white man's air and taking all the jobs, and they're just bad individuals who don't take care of their kids? Or is it the fact that the reason why the black community is broken and collapsed and fucked up is because you don't have a whole bunch of gainfully employed black men that make patriarchy, which women already don't like because they have to acquiesce their power, make them not want to get with the shit because they're like, I can do bad all by myself and I can get resources from the fucking state, right? These are the exact same factors that are fucking with the white community right now. Oh, why are white birth rates down? Because white men are not gainfully employed. Oh, why are white people, not getting married? Because white men can't afford houses in order to start a family and be economically viable enough to raise a family. Right? Oh, why are these white men being radicalized and joining militias and anti-government groups? Because young white men are not gainfully employed and able to support a family because the white oligarchy does not want to pay anybody, and the government that is controlled by the fucking oligarchy just allows it to happen and doesn't serve the interest of the people. Right? Had to inhale after that one. Right? So I'm just saying, like, this is what's going on, and this is the battle that's been going on, and then Hispanics, like, they show up yesterday, right? The only Hispanic people that aren't worried are Puerto Ricans, because Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens because of the Spanish-American War and how Puerto Rico got annexed, even though it's not technically a state, right? The Puerto Ricans are the only Latinos that are not, what do you call that? What am I saying? Are not worried about the situation. You see, but I think when in the Latino mind, when they look at African Americans and they look at the system of white supremacy and they look at the back and forth and the arguing and the Roland Martin going up there and Al Sharpton, and we're going back and forth about race and politics and yada yada yada, and we're fighting for the things that we want, right? And they look at themselves like they're a community that's fighting for the things that they want. They miss the fact that African Americans, are firmly grounded in, being a citizen of the United States. Firmly grounded. This is why we say foundational black Americans. We were here at the nation's foundation. And that's not to say that there haven't been Hispanics and Latinos that weren't here, at the foundation, especially when you start talking about, the formation of Texas and things like that, right? But, those Latinos, a lot of them are the ones that they're not for immigration. They're not for amnesty. They're not for any of those things. You see? But to sit there and listen to this Mexican woman, go boo-hoo, how come you all ain't caping for us? And then you got the Latinos, especially the Mexicans, that come into the United States and literally show us their natural ass. You know what I'm saying? They show us all of their ass. They kiss up to white folks, acting like white folks, acting like white folks are going to give them a pat on the head and some extra points for shitting on African Americans. Again, whenever it comes to criticizing African Americans, white people are quick to jump up and be like, "Oh man, look at those hardworking Mexicans. Look how hardworking they are, black people. Look at how hardworking they are." Yeah, of course they say that shit because they're paying y'all under the table. They're not paying you American wages, which is a stupid thing because they'll sit there and say, well, we need more white babies and we need strong white Judeo-Christian evangelical families, right? But then you have these white guys that intentionally undercut working class white men because they don't want to pay them the type of wages in order to support a middle class family. So then they go and then they hire the Mexicans and they get the Mexicans do it, right? Because the Mexicans are doing it for cheap. And then they run over to black people and tell black people, oh, you need to be like more like the Mexicans because the Mexicans are doing it for next to nothing, right? And the stupid thing is, and then the Mexicans run around with the chest out thinking like, oh yeah, you know, look at us, we're hard working. Those lazy blacks, those lazy monkeys over there, right? And then when you know, shit actually hits the fan and whatnot, you know, the white guys, the same white guys that was bigging you up for working for $5 an hour are the same white guys when there's too many of y'all. Now he's saying, take your ass back to Mexico, get the fuck out. And then now you got the audacity to turn to black people that you were kikiing and ha-haing against, right? And talk about, oh, black people, why don't you save us? Oh, black people, why don't you come and say something? Oh, black people, we black too. We black too, senor. Yo soy negro. You know what I mean? Like now all of a sudden, y'all want to sit there and you want to talk about, you know, how, you know, the Aztecs, they was black too. The Mayans, they was black too. We black too. You know, like, fuck out of here. Now all of a sudden you want us to bring out the capes and shit. But you was perfectly okay with just shitting on us when Massa came over and patted you on the top of your bitch ass head. Nah, Jose. Nah, Enrique. Nah, y'all can deal with what you gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it ain't. I don't have no hate. There's no hate. There's no animosity. But I'm saying, nah, y'all played y'all bitch ass card, and this is what the fuck y'all get. Y'all fucked around and found out. You know what I mean? There's plenty of videos of y'all up there. Yes, I vote for Senor Trump. Senor Donald Trump. He's the man. Yes, I vote for Trump. I vote for Trump. Yes. I Trump is the man. That y'all be over there saying that shit. El Jefe Trump, right? That's what y'all say. Jefe Trump. And then friggin' Trump's like, close the border. Get them the fuck out of here. Send ICE. Now all of a sudden, oh, black people. Oh, black people. Nah, ain't no black people, nothing. Nope. Don't come over here with that shit. You know, don't get me wrong. It's unfortunate. I don't think it's cool for ICE to run up in these schools trying to snatch the kids out of school. I think that's going to be traumatic for everybody. That's going to be traumatic for the little precious white children too. To have their little friend, my little friend Maria, and then all of a sudden a bunch of guys with a bunch of plate carriers come in there snatching up the kids from the classroom. Oh, that's got to be terrifying to a little child, right? I saw some video of some Mexican woman. She was thanking black women for protecting, you know what I mean? And again, I'm looking at y'all black women. Y'all just cannot not fuck up. Like y'all be talking all this big shit, what you not gonna do, and we gonna sit on our hands and we gonna sit it out, and yet it's always the black woman at the front of the line trying to draw, you know, some importance when again, these same people every time, what do? They give you their ass to kiss. Why do y'all insist on busting the capes out when all they do is give you your ass to kiss? You see? So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I don't, you know, all this stuff that was going on with the, you know, giving the Latinos, you know, housing them up. We haven't even gotten reparations as African Americans, and we got to sit there and watch the Hispanics coming to the country and the Democrat Party, which is supposed to be our party that we voted for disproportionately and always have since LBJ, throwing money at the Mexicans or the Latinos coming across the border, right? Giving them debit cards or EBT cards or whatever the hell it was that they were giving them WIC, giving them all type of money. Oh, here's some groceries. Black people out here struggling, dealing with economic deprivement and discrimination and shit. Oh no, we ain't got nothing for you, black people. Democrat Party. Oh, we need an Asian hate crime bill. Literally, you can go over to the FBI statistics, and black people since forever have been the number one victims of fucking hate crimes. It's not Asian people. It's not Jewish people. It's not Hispanic people. It's black people. You can go pull it up right now. Black people are the number one victims of hate crimes. But yet, can we get a anti-hate crime bill? Right? You know, almost every incident of police brutality involves a black person. Can we get, you know, some sort of protections? Nah, nope, fuck that shit. We gotta make sure that these Mexicans are right. We gotta make sure, you know, that this Asian community is right, which is why black people abandoned the Democrat Party and they let them crash the fuck out. The Democrats, obviously they preferred what's going on right now to actually, making concessions to black people's demands. They preferred this. That's how much they didn't give a fuck about the black community. So right now there's a political realignment going on, and you're in the middle of that. That's unfortunate that your families are being ripped apart and this, that, and third. But, the audacity of you to sit there and talk about what black people need to do for you when you come across the border and then show us your natural brown ass. And you get a little bit of a foothold, and then all of a sudden, niggas ain't shit. All of a sudden, you white men and Hispanic men, y'all on the same team, high-fiving each other. Same thing with the Hispanic women. Y'all was over there voting just like your men vote. And now, y'all getting deported and shit like that, and you want us to like throw our bodies in the way? Like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. No, ma'am. Y'all on your own. Seriously speaking, because we as black people, we've been on our own. People running around talking about black and brown coalitions and whatnot, and then when it actually comes down, when it comes to the, when the what is it called? What's the phrase called? When the rubber meets the road, right? When you get down to the brass tacks, y'all ain't breaking no bread. Y'all ain't trying to form Voltron on nothing, right? Y'all not like, hey, we need to link up with the black community because, white supremacy is a problem. No, because many of y'all are white supremacists too. Let's keep it a buck. That guy that went and shot up the Walmart, he shooting up the Walmart, and then he was like, was it Walmart or was it a mall? One of them things, one of them guys shot up, and he was Mexican and had like SS tattoos. Like, what is that? What is that? Again, the self-hatred runs deep. And again, we just recently had that with that dude, that young boy in Tennessee with his bullshit self-hating. But see, the thing is you all have way more proximity, to whiteness than one individual self-hating black guy who has brain rot. Because when y'all get into the prison system in California, who do y'all align with? Y'all align with the Aryan Brotherhood. Y'all don't fuck with us. Now all of a sudden y'all getting deported and shit. Why don't you call up the Aryan Brotherhood? Call them up. Right? Tell them, say, hey, Aryan Brotherhood, we getting deported. Why are you over here making videos, making pleas to the black community? Right? If you recognize that white people weren't going to save you before, why the fuck are you coming to us now? You should have recognized that before and been in alignment with us back then. But you weren't. So, like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all not gonna come over here and talk about what we need to do. In y'all words, no mama's way. Nah, don't come over here with that shit. Nah, y'all deal with them white folks that y'all love so much, right? You go over there and deal with the consequences of, how hard in the paint you went in, in support of Donald Trump. No, that's y'all ass. Don't coming over here trying to dump that shit. Give them all the smoke that you over here trying to give us, because they the ones deporting your ass. Anyway, that's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.
Move. Hold on. Yeah. Hello?
We out.
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We out.